After the Whistle starts in Martinsburg, where this play that we're about to see took place. Now you're going to see Jesse Muethler get ready in the slot. He's going to get it back and rocket one deep into the air. But Tyrone's Mason Amy is going to make a miraculous play on the ball.
What a catch.
Yeah, giving the Golden Eagles the possession of the interception. But would that be enough to get Tyrone past Central? Find out next. Hello, and welcome to After the Whistle. Our video crews just got back from that game and others, all around District 6. Live from University Park, I'm Bronwyn Leiber.
And I'm Evan Poches. We'll bring you all those highlights, plus a look at the start of Penn State football season. Stick around for all that and more right here on After the Whistle. We'll get to our game of the week in just a moment, but we'll start at Clearfield, who took on Philipsburg-Osceola. The Mounties started their season 2-0, and the Bison are 1-1. Clearfield was amped up for what ended up being an action-packed night. Look at those stands, all packed out.
That's an action-packed stand.
Ah, yes it is. The Bison started the game with an early score and were looking to add when Robert McClanahan picked off this pass late in the first quarter. Just a great jump on the ball. The Mounties took advantage of this opportunity with DeMarcus Law running it into the end zone and tying things up at 8 with a 2-point conversion. A nice run.
Good celebration as well.
Yeah, with Clearfield back on offense, the Tides were turning back in their favor as Colton Ryan tears off on this 40-yard breakaway, and he is brought down at the 17-yard line. However, P.O. wouldn't just sit back and watch when Jaden Jones took matters into his own hands, swatting the ball loose and causing a touchback right in front of the end zone, looking like Zach Bond last night. The Bison would come out on top with a final score of 27-15. Clearfield moves to 2-1 and will travel to face Bellefonte next Friday. P.O. also moves to 2-1 and will host Penns Valley next week.
Bellwood-Antis headed to take on the 2-0 Huntington Bearcats at War Veterans Memorial Field. The Blue Devils and Bearcats are ready to go as they enter out onto the field here. The game has a slow start with the first quarter ending a score of 0-0. Lots of potential of things to happen. Heading into the second quarter, Huntington attempts to take the lead with a field goal, which is blocked by Bellwood-Antis and recovered by Hescock. What a play there by the big guy. Right before half, Bellwood-Antis misses the go-ahead field goal heading into the half, still with the score 0-0. The Bearcats
a total rock fight.
Yeah, and then they struck quick right after half with a 51-yard touchdown out of the half, which would be enough as they would come out to win 7-6. This is the first year that Huntington has reached 3 or more wins since the year of 2019. The Bearcats are 3-0 and will head to Bishop Guilfoyle next Saturday, while the Blue Devils fall to 1-2 and will face Central on Friday. Now here's some quick scores from around the area. Hollidaysburg steamrolled Allegheny en route to a 40-13 win. Meanwhile, Cumberland Valley survived a close game against Altoona and eked out a 10-7 victory.
Mechanicsburg shut out Mifflin County 19-0 at home, while Solanco went on the road and picked up a massive win over Penn Manor 42-14.
Bedford pulled out a nail-biting win over Central Cambria with a score of 14-13. Marion wins the Battle of the Centers against Homer by a score of 20-6.
Richland continued their undefeated season with a 55-0 win over Westmont Hilltop. Line Mountain also picked up a shutout win over Juniata on the road 35-0.
The Tyrone Golden Eagles traveled to Central to face the Central Dragons. Both teams struggled in Week 1 against conference foes, but bounced back to scratch out a win. The mascot's audition to be a wide receiver gets us started here as we get all ramped up, but going into the first quarter, no score as Central Jesse's Muethler throws on the run, and it's picked off by Tyrone Mason's Amy Golden Eagles as they're going to take it over and celebrate there. What a play.
Fantastic.
Moving into the second quarter, Tyrone up 7-0, and it's Muethler once again on the run. He's going to look deep, but it's intercepted there by Owen Oakes.
The big fella.
Yeah, look at the big man run on the rumble. The return of the Golden Eagles with another turnover. Look, he's still going down the field. Then you're going to move into the third quarter. Tyrone leading by 14. Muethler is going to launch a pass, and he's picked off for the third time by the Braden Parsons. The Golden Eagles defense is making Muethler's night absolutely miserable.
You could say that again.
Tyrone is going to trounce on in Central with a final score of 28-6. The Golden Eagles advanced to 2-1 and will play Bald Eagle next week in a bird battle. Central falls to 1-2 and will try to bounce back against Bellwood-Antis.
Both Bishop Guilfoyle and Bellefonte are looking to bounce back from losses last week. In the past 2 years, the Marauders have outscored Bellefonte 90-13. The game began slow with some hard defensive football until Jake Kissel takes this handoff and would not be denied one stiff arm and into the end zone to give the Marauders a 7-0 advantage.
Look at those dance moves. That's how you could do a celebration.
Yeah, now later on in the second quarter, Justin Wheeler lofts this wobbler up and Tyson Listoki goes up and gets it in traffic over Red Raider defenders looking like Randy Moss. Now, into the closing stages of the second half as Hayden Hosegood trounces Brennan Hunsinger, bringing him down for the sack. As the hard-hitting defense would lead the Marauders to a nail-biting 7-0 win over the Red Raiders. Bellefonte will try to avoid a losing streak as they will face Clearfield next week at home, and Bishop Guilfoyle returns home to host the undefeated Huntington Bearcats.
A highly anticipated Laurel Highlands contest took place earlier tonight between two undefeated squads, the Penn Cambria Panthers and the Forest Hills Rangers. It's whiteout versus lightout here tonight between two rowdy Cambria County student sections. It was all Penn Cambria into the third quarter, with Blake Lilly chopping down the Rangers to the tune of an interception and 2 touchdowns, including this one that you just witnessed. That gave the Panthers the 12-point lead. But Forest Hills grew back late in the game, turning the tides after Cam Vietes picks off Brady Jones and added 15 yards after a targeting penalty. Just a few minutes later, Austin Pramuk crashes into a gritty run there, bringing the lead to single digits with his single-digit jersey. After that, you'll witness the fireworks continue to fly over as Forest Hills completed the comeback to defeat the Panthers 22-18. Penn Cambria falls to 2-1 on the year, while Forest Hills remains a perfect 3-0. They'll put their streak on the line against Richland in 2 weeks.
Stick around, we have highlights from more games across the region.
Plus a look at the start of the Penn State football season. Now let's take a look at some scores from around the state.
I'm the Lorax, I speak for the trees, and you're watching After the Whistle.
Welcome back. The Penns Valley Rams welcomed Bald Eagle area to Spring Mills. Both teams are looking for their first win of the season. The Eagles have beat the Rams the last 4 years. Now here come the Rams to defend their turf. Running into the field to start off this ball game. In the first quarter, Penns Valley quarterback Carter Ironside rolls to his right, but he finds his brother Fletcher Ironside across the middle, and he rolls down the field for 53 yards. A broken play turns into a big play for the Rams. And then look at his teammates coming to celebrate with him, and a point for the first down. Now, with less than 2 minutes left in the half, Bald Eagles' Grady Fisher runs this one from 7 yards out to get the first points of the game. They missed the 2-point conversion to make it 6-0 at half. Now, the Rams tried to fight back during the fourth quarter. Number 11, Isaac Harpster, intercepts this ball at the 30-yard line and runs it all the way to the 45.
Harpster making big plays there.
Yes, but the Rams' fight just wasn't strong enough, and the Eagles went on to win the game 21-0. The Rams will travel on the road next week to play at Philipsburg-Osceola, while the Eagles will face Tyrone at home next week.
The Mifflin County Huskies traveled almost an hour and a half to Mechanicsburg to meet the Wildcats. This is the second meeting between the teams, with last year Mechanicsburg winning 40-6. Mechanicsburg quarterback Noah Apple is getting these fans excited here in the stands, and he's going to rush it off the edge for a 24-yard gain featuring a wicked stiff arm there.
Put
him to the ground. Mechanicsburg running back Anthony Francis is then going to be the next one to rush it up the middle for a goal line touchdown, making it a score of 19-0 for Mechanicsburg. And who else then? Mechanicsburg again, as Miller is going to rush it up the middle for a 12-yard gain here in this play right here for the first down late into the fourth quarter. There he goes down, and you're going to make it Miller squared here after that and rush it off the edge for a 16-yard gain to help set up a victory formation. Look at Miller go.
Just bruising that defense.
Yeah, over and over. Mechanicsburg shuts out Mifflin County 19-0. The Huskies will host Hershey next week, while the Wildcats will head to Lower Dolphin.
Coming up, Beaver Stadium isn't just for football fans anymore.
Plus a look at Penn State football's first few weeks of action. Now here are some more scores from around the state.
Penn State Athletics is introducing a Fast Pass entry option for student ticket holders. Students could pick up their wristbands earlier today to have an expedited entry tomorrow. This follows an increased number of student color sections from 3 to 6. Students are encouraged to pick up their passes with their friends in order to ensure that they can sit together at the game. And as you see, a packed out Beaver Stadium crowd. That is exactly why they're doing this, especially with the renovations at the stadium. Penn State Athletics and Adidas have announced a new 10-year partnership. The contract makes Adidas the official footwear, uniform, apparel, and sideline partner of the Nittany Lions. This change is historic as Penn State has partnered with Nike since 1993.
Penn State football will host FIU tomorrow at noon. They won their series opener against Nevada last week with a score of 46-11. Nicholas Singleton ran for 2 touchdowns, and Penn State forced 3 turnovers in the victory. Transfer wide receiver Kyron Hudson and Trevor Pena both had over 5 catches and more than 70 yards. Defensive end Danny Dennis Sutton was the difference of Penn State's defense as he made 2.5 tackles for loss and forced 2 fumbles, making him the first Penn Stater to have multiple fumbles in a game since the 2019 Cotton Bowl. The blue and white prepared for the weekend for this upcoming matchup. Our reporter Sophia Koch was here for our preview. Sophia?
Thanks, Bronwyn. Penn State returns to Beaver Stadium this weekend to host Florida International after opening their season 1-0. The Nittany Lions are looking to continue their dominance in non-conference play against FIU, a team that has not faced since 2007. The Panthers arrive in Happy Valley with plenty of talent, headlined by quarterback and return specialists who were both named preseason conference players of the year. Head coach James Franklin says that kind of experience and athleticism can't be overlooked. Beyond individual talent, Franklin also expects FIU to push Penn State with a different style of play they haven't seen so far this season.
They do some nice things schematically, ton of RPOs on offense. Use the mobility of the quarterback. So they create some challenges. There's no doubt about it. They're bigger on both fronts than what we faced last week.
The Nittany Lions will also get help on defense as cornerback Zion Tracy is expected to return after missing last week's game against Nevada.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's practiced all week long, including Sunday. So we're anticipating him ready to go.
On the other side of the ball, the running game has been a consistent strength. Katron Allen says the depth in his position group and across the roster is what makes the team so tough to beat.
It's never a no drop off. Let somebody get in. That's at every position though. That ain't just the offense, defense too. There's never no drop off to anybody that get in there so they go do their job.
Franklin also noted that getting 73 players into last week's game was part of the strategy, keeping starters fresh, developing depth, and staying healthy for challenges ahead. Penn State and FIU kick off Saturday afternoon at Beaver Stadium. The Nittany Lions are looking to remain perfect, while the Panthers look to leave State College with a program-defining win.
Thank you, Sophia. I was at the game. It was packed. Glad they're bringing in those student wristbands, but it should be an exciting game. Are you going tomorrow?
Yeah, I actually am going tomorrow, despite how unpopular the game is. I mean, I know there might be a chance of rain, but I'm sure it'll be a good time.
Yeah, well, speaking of football, let's look at some of the top plays we saw tonight.
Thanks, guys. Week 3 of high school football had a ton of highlight moments. Let's take a look at the top 3. Number 3 takes us to Clearfield, where O'Brien Owens races to the end zone. But it's Jaden Jones with the punch, forcing the touchback. No points for the Bison right there. Next up, it's back to Clearfield, where it's Owens throwing downfield into the reclining arms of Robert McClanahan, who gets the reclining pick, making it all too easy. And number 1, rising to the occasion, Jesse Muthler throws this one right up into an interception. Mason Amai pulls the ladder out of his back pocket with a big pick for the Tyrone Golden Eagles. That was our picks for the top 3 plays of the week. Bronwyn and Evan, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much. And now a game you've all been waiting to see.
Our game of the week was a brisk walk away from our studios at State High against the Harrisburg Cougars. Dante Sheffy is back with the Little Lions as he faces off against his former team, a Cougars team he helped beat State College 7-6 last year. Penn State commit Messiah Mickens in street clothes on the sideline for this one with James Franklin looking on. Dante Sheffy takes the handoff and carries down inside the 10. State High caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown pass. Now later in the first, quarterback at the 1, the sophomore quarterback Connor Kluka kept it to make it 13-0 after a failed extra point. The Cougars at the 1 now, and it's Mikkel Shank's turn to get Harrisburg on the board 13-6 after a failed 2-point try. Under 3 to go in the second. Princeton Dent goes untouched for the 14-yard scamper. Another failed 2-point makes it 13-12 Little Lions going into the half. The second half was wild as it went to double overtime, and Harrisburg won it 48-45. My goodness, what a ball game.
What an exciting game just down the road.
The Cougars stay undefeated and are the only unbeaten team left in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. State College falls to 2-1 and hosts Cumberland Valley next week. Brooke Casey was at Memorial Field for this game. Brooke.
Yeah, guys, that was an absolute crazy second half at Memorial Field, and we got to cover it all. For the State College Little Lions, this game kicked off better than anyone could have wished. A quick 13-0 lead at home after the first quarter with all the momentum on their side.
Yeah, super proud of these kids. You never know what we have. We have a pretty young group, and obviously we grew up tonight. To have this opportunity to, you get down in that third quarter, and I wasn't sure if we were going to fold or if we were going to fight, and the kids decided to fight. We caught a spark, lit a fire, and got ourselves back in the game. So super proud of this group.
However, it wouldn't take long for Harrisburg to bounce back, seemingly shutting State College down until a defensive touchdown changed the night entirely. You did not know how this game was going to shake up today. At the end of the first, you would have thought it was State College's night. Then it looked like Harrisburg had wrapped it up with a bow, and what followed was a fourth quarter of chaos and confusion, and an overtime where it was still anybody's game. With 25 seconds left, State High scored, but needed to go for 2 to force the overtime, and Hank Lustig would not disappoint as he dove on the loose ball, securing the 2 and forcing the overtime.
There was just so many moments tonight that were, just so close, or we're making plays, and so, but coming down to that last one, the effort of Max Vendemia, a 9th grader out here competing all night on both sides of the football, and to, obviously put his body on the line and try to get in there on that last play, and continue that game.
Both teams scored in the first OT, but it was Jalen Lewis who scored the walk-off touchdown for Harrisburg that would break the Little Lions' hearts.
Next week, going against a good Cumberland Valley defense. Hopefully we prepared. Good week of practice this week. Should be ready.
State High is going to carry that great attitude into their game against Cumberland Valley next week, and the Little Lions are going to keep on roaring.
That's going to do it for District 6 football this week. For more updates about our show and coverage of games, follow us on X and Instagram at ATWPSU. I'm Bronwyn Leiber.
And I'm Evan Poches. Tune in next week for more coverage around the area. And of course, Penn State football, right here on After the Whistle.